that. And now, if Biden stands in the way, Joe Biden and the Democrats, they will be the ones responsible for any future default of this country. Take a look.
Then you said, could we stand up for the American public that we said in the commitment to America, that we would pass the Parents' Bill of Rights? We passed that. We said when we put forth H.R. 1, that we'd stand firm to make our energy independent in America and build our economy. We passed that. We looked and said when we watched Washington, D.C. decriminalize every form of crime, that we stood up the first time in 30 years in Congress to do that. And you all asked me the same question, what's going to happen when the Senate stops it? Well, the Senate didn't stop it, it passed it. What's going to happen when the president said beforehand, why'd you even vote on it? Because he wasn't going to sign it. He signed it.
All right, joining us now with more, House Speaker Kevin McCarthy is with us. Mr. Speaker, how are you? All right. So the CBO scored your bill, and it shows that over 10 years, you will save the American taxpayer a whopping $4.8 trillion. And now that is in exchange to raise the debt ceiling. However, that's only this year's negotiation. You're only raising it 1 year, right?
That is right. And it is the largest saving of a bill in American history. That's what we just passed in the fourth majority.
You did it with 217 votes. I did talk to Congressman Matt Gaetz. He said if the vote was tomorrow, he would vote with you, but he didn't like the process and some amendments added late. Let's tell the American people what else is in this bill and why this is so important. And the more important question is, will all Republicans stand firm when the Democrats try to cut back and pare back your savings?
Well, I need everybody to stand firm with us, even those 4 who voted against it as well. What this bill is, it's limit, save, grow. You want to limit the ability to government to grow so fast like it did on the Democrats going forward, so we cap the growth at 1% each year for the next 10. We save money by being smart. What we do is that money and billions of dollars sitting out there that COVID never spent, just sitting there, we claw that back so the American taxpayer can save the money. We put in work requirements to help people get jobs to move forward, help our supply chain, and get our country moving again. You know what else we do? By limiting the amount we spend, we curve inflation that makes people stronger. Then we want to grow our economy. H.R. 1, lowering our energy cost, we lower the energy cost for all Americans, but we also create more jobs. We cut the red tape so we can build things again in America. That's just a small sampling of what we do in this bill. And we also cut 87,000 IRS agents, so government is here to help you, not go after you.
That might be one of my favorite provisions, definitely. I want people to understand, most people may not get what baseline budgeting is, but the government builds into every year an increase in every department, usually, 6, 7, 8, 9%, and you are going to limit that to a maximum of 1%, correct?
Correct. Remember what they did with that omnibus at the end of the year last year? They jammed it through and they increased spending by $132 billion for the next year. But that cost you $1.5 billion.
Well, go ahead.
It cost you $1.5 billion over 10 years. What we simply do is we pull the dollar figure back to 2022, what we were spending just 4 months ago. And the president goes out there and says, we're going to starve babies. We're going to cut people off Head Start or something. That's not true. Just 4 months ago, we were able to achieve all that.
Well, wait a minute. I have a question,
eliminating waste.
And yes. Joe Biden claimed when he said when he recorded his announcement that he's going to run for re-election because he couldn't do it live and get it right. He did accuse Republicans of wanting to gut and cut Social Security. Is there any truth to that, Congressman? Because I don't know of a single Republican that wants to do that.
None whatsoever. But you know who is cutting Social Security and Medicare? President Biden. For the first time in the history of any president, based upon all the money he spent, the Congressional Budget Office came out with a report. It's the first time in a 10-year window that not only the Highway Trust Fund, but Medicare and Social Security go insolvent. So what that means is an automatic cut to those because the president's action of what he's taken. Republicans today took actions to make it stronger by putting in work requirements, putting more people at work, paying into it. We curve inflation that helps save Medicare and Social Security. And the most important thing we do, we cut our dependency on China and we bring the jobs back to America where they should be.
So I have one last thing. It's not a question, it's a statement that I want to share with you. And that is, I told you very early on when you became Speaker that we would hold you accountable. And you kept this promise here. Thank you for doing that. On the other hand, I'm saying to every Republican that voted for this bill today that you must hold the line and not give an inch to the Democrats because they're going to try and water this down every which way and sideways. So if you can get your caucus to hold the line, that'll be a success for every American.
Hold the line.
Sean, you should thank every Republican who voted for this bill because they went out and they fought hard.
Okay.
Those who did not vote for the bill, they ought to hold with us because it makes us weaker that we don't have 100%. And we're doing exactly what we told the American people to do. We keep the commitment to America. And we'll continue to come on here. Promises made, promises kept, and we are just getting started.
Hey, Sean.